Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Okay, I've got Nick Girafedo from Link2 on the phone. We're going to do it like this today. And before I do anything else, I wanted to get your thoughts on the whole BlackRock ETF, XRP ETF controversy.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, DAI. Yeah, you know, there's been so many people have said so many things. I mean, even the attorneys in the community don't know what to make of it, right? They don't know if it's real or if it's not. So if the attorneys can't tell, you know, how is anyone else supposed to be able to tell? You know, I always err on the side of conservatism, you know. So my thought process is it's probably not real, right? But I do have one eye open, and the good news that comes out of it is if it's not authentic, BlackRock is certainly aware of the movement that XRP made. And if they weren't planning on one, they're probably thinking about it now.
Right. And they also there was enough demand that they finally went onto their own Twitter account and addressed it. And so at a minimum, they saw a major demand for XRP.
Yeah, they did. And you know, and also, and I'm not looking to build all kinds of hype and speculation, but the other thing is, you know, just because they said something doesn't mean it's true, right? I mean, it is an investment, you know, company, you know, the size of BlackRock. I mean, so these guys are not looking to telegraph their moves.
Right.
So, you know, who knows? You have to kind of watch this stuff with one eye open. But I don't think anybody's right or anybody's wrong. It's kind of a wait and see thing.
I was looking at this one tweet about where this guy's like, he's like, well, the person that goes in and files for this thing has to show like an ID. They have a notary or two, I think. And so I think there's a lot more to the thing, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, look, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, right? And you know, I don't want to speculate any further, but I think we're going to hear more on it at some point. But it's certainly, you know, gotten everybody in a heightened awareness, so to speak.
Okay, now let me draw your attention to this Link2 clip. It was from a while back with Simon McLaughlin, from the CEO of Uphold, and there was two clips. I wanted to play this clip and then get your thoughts on this.
Sure. It was a great interview.
Okay, here we go.
And the Ripple partnership is very important to us. So we're going to become a node in Ripple's on-demand liquidity service. And their service basically streamlines international payments for big companies. Uphold's role in that will be to convert XRP into fiat currency, USD, pound sterling, and euros, and to handle bank payouts in Europe, UK, and the US. It's a really important deal for us, not just because of the direct benefit, but because it signals the strategic direction we want to take the company. This one deal has the potential to double our volumes next year, not our revenues, our volumes. But more importantly, it exposes us to recurring payment flows. And it plays to the utility use case of crypto, as opposed to the retail speculation case that, you know, crypto is perhaps best known for.
All right, that was the first clip.
Wow, you know, there's so much to unpack in that clip. I mean, you know, it's funny, when we had that interview, when Joe Indoso did that interview at Link2, I listened to the interview and I was like, oh my God. I mean, there's just so much in there. But in that particular statement, there's so much to unpack, right? So first off, you know, the day after the Ripple case was ruled upon by the judge, you know, David Schwartz was asked about, you know, financial institutions using ODL in the United States, and could they access XRP through Ripple? And David's response, and I'm going to paraphrase, and I've read it, you know, word by word before, but his response was, as long as they don't access the XRP directly from Ripple, there's no reason why they can't use XRP in payment flows. So essentially, this for people that don't get it, this partnership has solved that problem.
Right.
Now, Uphold is the on and off ramp for the United States for Ripple to use XRP and cross-border payments. The puzzle is finished. I mean, that was the last piece.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's legal clarity. So there's no reason why a financial institution, and David also said this, there's no reason why they can't use XRP and cross-border payment flows. So I don't think everyone realizes that this thing could begin at any moment.
Yeah, and I don't see anything standing in the way at all other than politics, is from where I sit. Just the
Yeah, I mean, look, there's the fine that needs to be sorted out, and John Deaton did a great video on that yesterday if you haven't seen it, and assuming there's not some sort of a settlement on that fine, which is probably likely, but if there's not a settlement, it's going to be sorted out early next year. But that particular point of the case, it's still a little black rain cloud over Ripple's head, but it doesn't stop the business from moving forward. Yeah. And it's just it just all comes down to they have to write a check, and that's it. And the moment they write a check, it's over.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine what happens then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna play the second clip and get your thoughts on this one.
Sure.
Interviewers, it's an example of how we're plugging Uphold as a platform into a large installed user base. So the ODL platform already handles hundreds of millions of dollars of flow a year. So it's not like you're plugging into a startup and you're inheriting execution risk. So for us, it's a very exciting project. It goes live on a very tight time frame. Actually, we've got the first live trades due in December. So at that point, I'll pause, Joe, and let you chip in.
So what about that? What goes live in December?
Exactly, and it goes live. So essentially what I'm hearing from him say is the partnership goes live in December with trades in December, which sounds to me like it potentially could be go time. It could be a financial institution, who's going to start using RippleNet and XRP and payment flows. I mean, we're not calling it ODL anymore. I guess we're calling it Ripple Payments.
Well, what I need you to do is, are you able to give me something that would be the perfect thumbnail with what you just said? That's what I'm really trying to get.
Well, I mean, I don't, look, I mean, it says to me that, I think there was a lot in that statement. I think it says to us that their partnership is going to begin in December. And to me, the purpose of their partnership is for on and off payment flows. So I'm not going to be surprised if it starts to happen in December.
So what you're saying is massive go live date. Is that your thumbnail?
I'm not saying that.
So
I'm not even going to repeat what you just said.
But before we finish, tell me what's going on with Link 2.
Oh, got so much going on with Link 2. We did introduce Ripple back to the platform today. And look, what everyone needs to understand, if you're an existing investor at Link 2, first of all, thank you. We appreciate our investors so much. And if you're not an investor at Link 2, we'd love to welcome you to Link 2. What I would say is, I know there's people out there who haven't invested like specifically in Ripple yet because they're waiting to see how things work out. And we've got some investors that may be looking to, increase their positions. But what everyone needs to understand is the following. The moment there's clarity on Ripple, moving toward an exit to the public market, it's likely that, our sources of gaining Ripple shares, which is normally early or existing employees or early investors. So it's existing or ex-employees or early investors where we get the shares from. It's likely once they're moving toward the exit that those folks are not going to want to part with their shares. So if anybody is waiting to invest in Ripple, you might want to rethink your strategy, because when this happens, once it's happened, it's happened. It's like news, right? It's easy to report the news because it's already happened. It's harder to figure out what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So I would just implore everyone, that intends to invest in Ripple or increase their position, please take a look at it. Go visit link2.com. We're here to help, and anything we can do, we're here to answer your questions.
Okay, now before we go off into the member group, I wanted to tell you what I'm going to talk about in there. We talk about CBDCs a lot, but I'm going to talk specifically about the CBDC for evil route, which is a distinct possibility. And so that's something that I can't really talk about in social media to really focus on that. And I'm going to show you a guy that I haven't been able to show on my regular channel in 5 years because he's one of those guys that you just can't show. And I'm also, just for the fun of it, I'm going to kind of start showing some of the shows and stuff that I'm doing, things I'm doing behind the scenes, shows I'm watching behind the scenes. So go to DAIXRP.com. I'm also, my friends are trying to talk me into really dropping a DAI bomb on the group between now and Christmas. I'm thinking about that. DAIXRP.com is how you join. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. DAIXRP.com. Thanks for listening.